Today we're going to talk about the second stimulus check and stimulus package, what we know as far as how negotiations are going, and what we can predict may happen in the coming weeks based on the facts we have right now. As we all know, there's been a standstill in stimulus negotiations for over 2 months, and it's now been 6 months since the CARES Act was signed into law. You might have lost hope on another package, but the outlook has actually gotten a little bit better. Key stimulus negotiators on both sides, Nancy Pelosi and Mnuchin, have agreed to get back together and resume stimulus negotiations. This will be led by an entirely new stimulus package from Democrats who have decided to put together a stimulus bill that is similar in size to their most recent offer in negotiations. Their offer was $2.2 trillion, and it's looking like this bill will come out just slightly higher at $2.4 trillion. This bill will include unemployment benefits, a direct stimulus check, another round of paycheck protection funding, or at least repurposed funding for the Paycheck Protection Program, aid for airlines, school funding, and virus funding. What we don't know yet is the dollar amounts of those items that will be included in the bill, or what exactly won't be included in their smaller bill going from $3.4 trillion down to $2.4 trillion. Obviously, something is either smaller or cut. But I'd be willing to bet that there won't actually be anything that was cut altogether from their stimulus bill. I don't believe that they're just going to cut government funding or school funding altogether, something like that. What they'll likely do instead is just lower the dollar amounts that either go to those programs or decrease the length of time the funding is offered. For example, they might shorten unemployment benefits from 9 months to 6 months, something like that. I believe if executed properly, this is one of the better moves Democrats have made in terms of negotiations for the stimulus. So let's just think about it and break it down a little bit. Republicans came out with their skinny bill, which was widely regarded as a tactic to show the public that Republicans can work together and they're trying to help, they're trying to push stimulus out there and really just show that the other side was the enemy kind of here. This bill fell flat though, and I don't think it accomplished their goal because it just simply wasn't big enough. If they had made their skinny bill at around $1.2 trillion and then tried to pass it, and then Democrats blocked it, they would have had a stronger case to say it's those darn Democrats' fault. But now Democrats are trying to take the same tactic with their $2.4 trillion revised bill. If it passes, they're happy because it's a massive, comprehensive bill, offers a lot of relief. They basically won the negotiations. If it doesn't pass, then they can point their fingers and say, Republicans don't care about getting more stimulus out. So it's kind of a win-win on both sides there. My only objection with their plan is they're just a little bit greedy with it. The last number they offered was $2.2 trillion. They should have made the bill $2.2 trillion. Or heck, if they really wanted to look like the good guys here, make it $2.1 trillion because then you can say you're trying your best to find a resolution. This is just the lowest we can go. We went down another $100 billion. We're trying here, but instead they went a little bit higher, so that might bite them in the butts later on. Going higher than their lowest offer of $2.2 trillion gives Republicans the option to say Democrats are being irrational, and that could be an issue as far as negotiations go. The question now is, will Republicans ever go for a $2.4 trillion bill? The CARES Act has a cost of about $2 trillion, so they have kind of done it before, but this is a different situation in a different time. The highest offer Republicans have given so far is $1.5 trillion, meaning they would have to go up 60% from their highest offer to accept this new, smaller package. However, there are some factors that could contribute to Republicans accepting a larger package. That sounded a little bit dirty, but first we have jobless claims increasing. New claims rose to 870,000 in the last reported week, up a few thousand from the week before. And then after this, we have expiring unemployment benefits through Trump's executive order. His executive order outlined that the $300 per week benefits would last 6 weeks. And well, it's been more than 6 weeks for many states. The states that have already paid out 6 weeks of benefits are Alabama, Arizona, Idaho, Massachusetts, Missouri, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Texas, and Utah. Unemployed workers in those states are now in limbo, with many more states expiring soon. Most states signed on to this A few were weeks behind these 9 that have already expired, but in the next 3 weeks or so, we're going to see all the states completely expired as far as benefits. And we have nearly 30 million unemployed people collecting jobless benefits right now, and Congress knows this. This may be just the pressure needed for lawmakers to say, okay, let's make something happen here. And really, if we think about it in the past, when these enhanced unemployment benefits expired back in July, that was the real reason for them to go, okay, we need to figure out something really quickly. We have all these people who are expecting money to come in. It's not here. Let's find a solution. And then Trump made that executive order, thinking that it would put more pressure on Congress to basically resolve that. But it unfortunately had the opposite effect, and they kind of pushed the brakes and decided, okay, we're just going to coast for a little while. This solution isn't the greatest, but it kind of works, so let's just go with that for now. And now we're at the point where it's expiring, so hopefully this brings them back to the table and just puts a little bit more pressure on them. And this brings us perfectly to the next reason, the elections. Many say that the elections will make a stimulus bill less likely, and I agree in the sense that lawmakers may be preoccupied elsewhere, worried about their own personal re-elections, and they might not have the energy to think about a stimulus right now. But Republicans know that if they pass a stimulus bill, they will garner a whole lot of support from all the people who are in need and thankful for a resolution. I think the public would love to see some empathy and some rationality right now, and I think that would go a long ways in the election polls. And this brings us to the next reason. The president wants it. He knows if he can help push through a bill, especially if it means more checks with his name on them, he will undoubtedly get more support in the elections. He's tweeted about wanting this to happen. He frequently talks to the Republican negotiators, and this will be just one more push towards getting something passed. The next reason, which I haven't heard talked about much, is the airline industry. As part of the CARES Act, the Payroll Support Program was enacted, also known as PSP. This gave funding to the airlines with the stipulation that they must keep employees on payroll through October 1st. Well, October 1st is coming very quickly, and the airline industry employs more than 10 million people. This is no small drop in the bucket. I mean, we have 30 million unemployed right now on benefits. Imagine if another 5 was added to that. That's a huge increase. Leaders of major airlines have been reaching out to Mnuchin to continue stimulus negotiations and get a 6-month extension on their PSP ASAP. The last major issue is small businesses. We have nearly 100,000 small businesses already permanently closed in this country, and many more just holding on with a thread. Confidence is at an all-time low for small business owners, and in many cases they just feel lost and like they just don't know what to do. They're in a situation where their business is failing, or maybe revenues are extremely down for reasons that are no fault of their own, and for months they've just been hoping that there might be more relief. They got this 8-week relief window through the Paycheck Protection Program, which was wonderful, but for just about everyone that expired 4-5 months ago. And obviously more relief is needed, especially for those businesses that haven't even been able to reopen yet. Things like bars, some restaurants, entertainment businesses. There's a lot of places that aren't open or are open at limited capacity that just make profitability impossible. And this is just a situation that makes the problem even worse, where we have all these small business owners and everyone they employ at a threat of being unemployed and needing more relief. And also, this is one of the situations that has the most simple solution. The Paycheck Protection Program has a remaining $130 billion sitting there untapped that could be repurposed for a second round. But all that needs to be done is throw it into a bill and vote on it and repurpose those funds. We don't even need additional funding. So we take all of these reasons combined, and I think there are good odds that we'll see another stimulus bill before the elections. This goes against what many people say, but I personally believe the odds we see a stimulus bill before the elections are higher than after the elections. There are just certain incentives in place to get something passed beforehand. So this is all we have for today. Check out the link in my description for Webull, where you can receive a completely free stock once you make an account and deposit $100 into your account. And you actually don't even have to spend the $100. It takes about 5 minutes and you get a free stock. It's not a bad deal. Anyways, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a profitable day.